Welcome to our channel, where we dive deep into captivating true crime stories that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Today, we unravel the chilling case of Lori Isenberg, a woman who lived a double life, leading to a shocking and tragic outcome. Get ready to uncover the twists and turns of this gripping tale that will leave you questioning how well you truly know those closest to you. Craig Isenberg and his wife Lori lived in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, a beautiful vacation town. They'd been married for 14 years. Each of them had grown children and grandkids. Larry was no longer working, and Lori was the head of the North Idaho Housing Coalition. People in the neighborhood knew Larry and Lori and thought they were a great couple. Larry loved being outside. He liked to hunt, hang out at the lake, and take long walks. He definitely loved his family a lot, especially Lori. Other people wanted to find love like theirs, but on a cold February morning 6 years ago, Lori's web of lies finally came apart, with deadly consequences. In court, prosecutors showed proof that Isenberg planned for weeks to kill the man who loved and trusted her, so she wouldn't have to deal with more shame after her scheme to steal money was revealed. Isenberg said that her husband drank a poisoned drink that she had made for herself so that she could kill herself. What was the lie? And what was the truth? A double life. We know Lori Isenberg is smart, strongly recommended, very resourceful. That's how the lawyers put it in court. Living two lives was possible because of the same qualities that her kids and husband liked about her. Isenberg was the executive director of the North Idaho Housing Coalition for almost 10 years. The North Idaho Housing Coalition is a non-profit organization whose goal is to make it easier for people and families with low to middle incomes to find affordable housing. More than $579,900 was stolen from the charity over the course of 3 years by Isenberg. She used her daughter's names to make fake businesses, sent money through them, and made fake bills for work that wasn't done. She was able to convince the board to bring in-house general contracting and accounting. She could use the checkbook and do her business online. After Isenberg gave them money, 4 of her children were later found guilty of conspiracy in the case. In late January 2018, Isenberg was fired by the NIHC board. Prosecutors say that she planned a family vacation to Florida and put a 2-month hold on the Isenbergs' subscription to the Coeur d'Alene Press in the days that followed. It was in Florida that Isenberg's daughter, Chrislyn Woolston, said she saw her kids play on the beach with their grandparents, who they loved. Lori Isenberg, meanwhile, was said to have looked into water depths, currents, tides, drownings, boat rentals, and crashes. Isenberg kept looking into water levels and drownings when he got back to Idaho. This time, he did it in Lake Pandorei. On February 12th, she got a voicemail from a writer for the Coeur d'Alene Press. The paper knew that Isenberg had stolen money and was going to write a story about it the next day. Police said Isenberg heard the message even though she didn't answer the phone. The news was going to come out soon. The walls were closing in. A fateful cruise. As people in North Idaho woke up to the news that Isenberg was no longer working with the housing group, she and Larry launched a boat from Sunup Bay. Isenberg wrote in an email on February 20th that her husband had just gotten over the flu. He told them they should get out of the house and watch the sunrise from a boat. After, they could go to the Coeur d'Alene resort for breakfast. Larry's grown children, Dean Isenberg and Jessica McPherson, had gotten a picture of the sunrise from their dad. Prosecutors said Lori Isenberg sent the photo from her husband's phone. Isenberg said she fell asleep in the boat. When she woke, Larry was acting strangely. She said that he was checking out the trolling motor when, all of a sudden, he stood up, looked at her with a confused face, and jumped into the cold water at Powderhorn Bay. Isenberg said she drove around the lake looking for her husband quickly for about an hour while she was in shock. She called 911 at 10:23 a.m., charged with theft. Isenberg was caught on February 26th and charged with 40 counts of forgery and 1 count of grand theft. Her husband was still being looked for by the police. The prosecutors asked the court for a high bond because they were afraid she would destroy proof if she got out of jail. Isenberg was told to be held on $75,000 bail by a judge. It is said that she asked her daughter, Chrislyn Woolston, to pay for it. After posting bail, Isenberg signed over 4 Kootenai County properties to her sister, Jamie DeVault, who resided in California, searching Larry. The police looked for Larry Isenberg for 2 weeks near Powderhorn Bay and East Point in the southeast corner of the lake. Sonar work was held up because the water was rough and the cold weather made the tools freeze. Lori Isenberg went with the search team to help narrow down the area they were looking for. The people in charge said she was ditzy and silly while she was on the lake. On March 1st, a local said they saw what looked like a body bobbing face down in Sunup Bay. It was Big John Isenberg. Scientists did tests that showed his body could not have gone into the water where his wife said it did. Isenberg put her husband in the water, prosecutors said, then steered the boat north until the trawling motor died before calling 911. In the end, Lori said that she had called 911 about 2 hours after Larry had fallen into the water. What did Lori say? It took her that long to find Larry's phone, which she had used to call 911. The Marines who were helping with the case saw right away that there were blood drops in the boat. Inside and outside of the boat, there was blood. Lori said she hit her head when she fell while she was running around looking for Larry. The cops also thought it was strange that the Isenbergs were out on the water in February when it was only 20 degrees outside. It took several weeks to look for Larry. Where is Lori? Christy Woolston said that her mom and aunt met her in Seattle in April 2018 while she was there for work. Woolston said Isenberg was sure the cops would set her up for murder, and she told her kids she could no longer talk to them. After a month, Isenberg called her from a number she didn't know. She told her daughter she was sorry, but she had to go. Woolston told the judge on Monday that she still thought her mother was innocent at that time. She said, "If you are telling the truth, I will fight for you." The truth doesn't always win, her mom told her. She quickly learned that her mother had not shown up to court, so she lost the $75,000 bond she had co-signed with her daughter, and a judge put out a $500,000 arrest warrant for Isenberg. Woolston got the same question over and over again from bail bondsmen and the FBI for 3 months. Where is Lori? Lori locked up. She had been on the run for more than 4 months before she turned herself in to police in Coeur d'Alene in July 2018. The police thought she was hiding in Southern California, close to her sister Jamie DeVault's house. DeVault had earlier said she didn't know where Isenberg was. It is said that Isenberg became very religious while she was in jail. She wrote Woolston letters full of Bible verses and asked for Sunday school lessons every week. Woolston said she politely said no when Isenberg brought it up on the phone in March 2019 from jail. Her daughter said that Isenberg was always in a good mood, but all of a sudden she became angry. She got mad. "Just what do you mean?" Isenberg is said to have said, "I thought you let me off the hook." "Do you think we'll keep talking about this for years?" Isenberg soon ended the call, and it was the last time Woolston spoke to her mother. Multiple plea deals. In November 2018, Isenberg agreed to plead guilty to 3 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of federal program theft. She also agreed to pay $579,495.75 in restitution. 2 of her children, Tracy Tesh and April Barnes, admitted they planned to steal a computer program. Barnes admitted to getting about $11,500 from her mother's plan, and Tesh admitted to getting about $15,300. In federal court, 2 more daughters, Amber Hosking and Jessica Barnes, admitted they planned to steal government programs. Hosking admitted to getting $16,500 from the plan, and Barnes admitted to getting $15,500. The 2 women both said they got paid for work they didn't do. Barnes was said to have lived in a house owned by the Housing Alliance. When her mother couldn't pay the rent, She did it illegally with federal dollars or donations. Isenberg was sentenced to 5 years in prison for embezzling more than $500,000. But while that case was over, another one was still going on. Cause of death. Lori Isenberg didn't drown. According to the coroner's report, he died from taking too much Benadryl. Diphenhydramine, which is sold under the brand name Benadryl, is an antihistamine that is used to treat allergies. It is also used to help people sleep because it makes them sleepy. A healthy amount of diphenhydramine for the body is between 100 and 1,000 nanograms per milliliter. However, there were 700 nanograms per milliliter of diphenhydramine in Lori Isenberg's body, which is the amount that would have killed him. Intoxication with diphenhydramine often causes brain fog, which is a symptom that Lori Isenberg told his doctor about while he was on vacation in Florida about a month before he died. Prosecutors said Lori Isenberg likely attempted to kill her husband while on that family trip. Charged with murder. 2 years after her husband's body was found floating in Lake Coeur d'Alene, Lori Isenberg was charged with first-degree murder through the use of poison, which is a crime that is punishable by death. Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, her trial was put off more than once. Her plea deal in February 2021 was for murder in the second degree, which was a lesser crime. For Jessica McPherson, the plea deal that let Isenberg avoid accepting guilt was a slap in the face to the people who loved her father. She said, "The death of my father has left a hole in my soul. We'll never get what's right for us." Motive for murder. Dean Isenberg said his father was his best friend. "He was truly unforgettable," he said in court Monday. "Even those who hated him loved him in a way." She used a tissue to wipe her eyes as her stepson talked about the guy she admitted to poisoning. He talked about a man who was honest, worked hard, and loved his family, especially his wife. He said, "I can only hope that she did what she did to keep him from being embarrassed when he found out what his soulmate had done behind his back." Authorities say Isenberg killed her husband so she wouldn't have to deal with the shame of losing half of her assets in a divorce. But Isenberg told the court on Monday that the poisoned drink that killed her husband wasn't meant for him. Isenberg said she had thought about committing suicide ever since her theft was found out. She said, "I knew my life was over. I could have died or gone to prison for life. I didn't want to get away with anything." She said her plan was to drown in Lake Coeur d'Alene after drinking the drink she had tainted with Benadryl. But while she was sleeping on the boat, her husband found the drink. According to Judge Scott Wayman, there was no question that Isenberg's story in court was the truth, or at least the truth she had chosen. Isenberg was given a life sentence of 30 years to serve and credit for time already served by Judge Wayman. After Lori Isenberg's sentence was read, his family hugged each other quietly. What do you think drove Lori Isenberg to commit such a heinous act? Was it greed, fear, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing true crime stories.